Okay, here's a dish that's deeply integrated into the repertoire of Trinity. This is something we've been cooking for years. This is the brilliant, the vibrant, the absolutely delicious ratatouille. Okay, so we've got some diced green and yellow courgettes, some diced yellow and red pepper, skin on. We've got some diced aubergine, diced red onion, capers, garlic, tomato passata, but a really good one, and some nice quality olive oil. Can only be one thing, ratatouille. This is really about understanding how to cook these ingredients together to get the best result. We use ratatouille loads. We've always cooked ratatouille at the restaurant. I just think it's one of those things that is so versatile, and we're going to do lots of different things with this recipe once I've completed it. It works for the summer, it works for your barbecues, and it works for families sharing meals, and it's just one of those things that's filling and delicious, super healthy, and for me it just feels a bit like kind of holiday food. It's food that you want to eat when you're abroad, when the sun's shining, with a bottle of rosé. It's utterly delicious. So just start off by taking your time and dicing all this veg, and you want it to be about the same size. That's really important. When you've got everything like this, you can then move on to the cooking, and that's really important. That's called mise en place, or getting things in order, getting things ready beforehand. If you do that, you're then setting yourself up for success in the cooking process. This is how restaurants ultimately work. We spend the mornings doing mise en place, and then we spend the service doing the cooking. So we're kind of not doing the prep while we're doing the cooking, unless everything's gone a little bit wayward. It has happened. Right, let's start. Lots of heat in here, lots of really good quality olive oil. More than you think, because these aubergines will absolutely soak up. I'm going to start with the onions. The onions don't need to be in hot. We want to be increasing the temperature of the pan as we're adding the different ingredients. Into that's going to go some molten sea salt, a nice bit of black pepper to get this started. And we'll just let that come up. We're trying to sort of bleed these onions out a little bit before we increase the heat, which is going to then allow us to cook the aubergines and the courgettes. Okay, so you can see those onions are starting to go a little bit translucent now. Starting to sweat. We're getting the sweetness coming out of them. We're getting the moisture out of the onion. We're getting the sweetness coming to the forefront of the onion. And now that heat is now at a stage where we can add in the next ingredient. And the next one is the next firmest ingredient, which is the peppers. We have to remember, you're dealing here with ingredients that are some of the sort of heaviest, moist ingredients vegetable wise that there are. So the peppers, the courgettes, the aubergines, they've really got a high water content. So we need to keep that temperature up so we're not boiling the ratatouille, and we're making them sweat out all of their moisture. If that temperature drops, you're basically making a pan of boiled vegetables, and no one likes a pan of boiled vegetables. So take your time, stand over it, care for it, love it, get involved with it, connect with it, and you will get the result you want. You want that to fry. When I move that, you can hear it's starting to fry, and you want it to remain that way. That's really important. Okay, now we need to add in a little bit more salt, and this salt is purely for the peppers. So it's keeping that salt going in with every layer of vegetable appropriate to that layer of vegetable, and that's quite important. Who knew that ratatouille could be this bloody complicated? You're trying to make something which is greater than the sum of its parts. And if you want to do that, you need to apply detail to every single process that goes into it. Have you watched that video, the film, Ratatouille? It's such a great film. I remember watching it with my kids when I was young, trying to use it to explain to them what Daddy does for a living when they were like 4. They just loved the film. It's a great movie. It's the best movie. When you get to my age and you've been reviewed by every single person, good, bad, and ugly, it's yeah, those reviews used to absolutely petrify me. They don't really bother me anymore. We don't get reviewed anymore. In fact, we did get reviewed last weekend. We were reviewed in The Observer, which I found astonishing, but it was a wonderful review, so I was happy with that. Okay, look, we don't want any colour. We're definitely at a fry point. I can't see any water coming out now, so it means I'm ready for my next ingredient, which is my aubergines. So in they go. Beautiful aubergines. Yeah, 100%. I will eat a whole artichoke when I'm out because of the story, and it reminds me of my childhood and things like that, and not my childhood eating at home, but when I went on a French exchange and experienced that, like happy memories of that, you know. I love an egg sandwich because that's what my mum used to pack for a picnic. A boiled egg sandwich. Love that. This needs a little bit more olive oil. Look, you see the aubergine loves to just soak up the olive oil, which is nice. You want it. You want that aubergine packed with olive oil, but also you want to keep enough oil in there that the whole thing's kind of still got a fry going on. What could I do with this ratatouille once it's finished? I could make a wonderful pasta dish. I'm actually going to fill some fish with it. We're going to make our ratatouille the way that we make ratatouille in the restaurant. I'll show you that whole thing. Oh, do you know what? Just spread it on some toast. Bit of fresh basil, bit of tapenade, bit of olive tapenade, and eat it. Absolutely wonderful. There you go, aubergine soaked up, fried, and now nice and dried out. So in goes our courgettes. The lovely yellow and green courgettes. So these are bringing vibrancy, but they don't take long to cook courgettes. So this means that we're kind of at the back end of our cooking here. It's a bit like if you refer back to that chicken primavera dish we did, where we're cooking all the lovely spring vegetables in one pan, but we're using the timing to get it right. So we're starting with the ingredient we want to cook the most. I think a lot of people wouldn't do this. They would just chuck everything in, give it a good fry up, and then carry on. And I don't think that's right, and I think you end up with a much better product like this. The whole thing will just work together beautifully. Right, now we're going to start adding a little bit of sherry vinegar. Need to balance that olive oil. That's important. Make sure you cook the sherry vinegar off. I think sherry vinegar is better than Chardonnay for this, and better than Cab Sauv vinegar, better than a champagne vinegar. You want a nutty vinegar that's kind of going to harmonise with that ratatouille. Okay, now it's in with passata. Buy a really good quality passata. In it goes. That wants to cook down. You don't want tons of it in there, because I'm looking for this whole thing to kind of thicken and become quite tight. It's very posh because you dice all the vegetables like this. You obviously don't have to dice them this small or neat, but for what we want it, the applications we want this for, we do want it this neat and tight, so it's okay. What you're trying to do now is have enough passata that the whole thing kind of emulsifies and richens, and the olive oil doesn't kind of split out. And what we're also trying to avoid is that any of the vegetables are completely ruined and others completely raw. So this is the trick to the whole thing. So keep the heat up, keep that passata reducing down. It's going to give richness, intensity, thickness, and make the whole thing kind of indulgent and rich. We finish a lamb sauce with this actually sometimes. There's loads of stuff you can do with it. And I just think ratatouille is one of those things that, what a beautiful thing to cook. And also, look, if you're at home and you're going to cook, you've got some friends coming around for dinner, nice friends and family. Maybe they're nice, maybe they're not. I don't know. But they're coming around anyway. You can cook this in the morning, leave it, and you've served up something utterly delicious that everyone can share into. Looks impressive, fits the kind of barbecue, fits the weather, and it's going to feed plenty of people. It's also not unhealthy. It's not big lumps of meat. Really nice. Okay, that's about right. So what I'm going to do now is turn that off. Turn off my heat. Leave it there a second. I'm just going to take 1 clove of garlic now. In goes 1 clove of garlic. In goes my capers. Super fine capers. There. Look at them. Beautiful things. Lovely. I just need to. It's going to annoy the out of you. Just need to very quickly julienne some basil to go in there. We need it to be fresh. We need the basil because we want the whole thing to sort of be fresh and have that Mediterranean feel to it. I've just stacked the basil leaves like that, and I'm just running a knife through them very quickly, like so. Get rid of the stalks. That goes in. So raw garlic, capers, and the basil in. This is adding colour, depth, vibrancy. God, that looks so yummy. We're going to very quickly whack some cling film on that, or a lid if you want, doesn't matter. And that's just going to sit there and steep, and that's sort of allowing the garlic to soften and cook through. So I'm going to leave that to cool down just like that. Then I'm going to double check the seasoning. And then we're going to use that for all sorts of wonderful things. That is how I make ratatouille here at Trinity. Cool. There we go. Just let that steep, give it a good mix. That'll keep in the fridge for a couple of weeks. I'm going to just check the seasoning on it. That's wonderful. Just still feels fresh, you know? Feels fresh and interesting. Bit of good olive oil. That is just an utterly delicious lunch. Healthy, delicious. I mean, it's a bit extreme to dice veg like that just to eat on a bit of crispy bread at lunch. But when in Rome. It's more than the sum of its parts. And I love that about ratatouille. It's a base ingredient that has tons of uses and can just sort of glide its way through your kitchen and end up in various different guises, in a pasta, into a piece of fish, under the skin of some fish, into a mousse, could go onto a piece of toasted focaccia bread, could end up with a piece of burrata, could just be that on its own. It's a foundation, it's a building block. It's magical. Ratatouille, enjoy. Happy days.